Standing underneath the lights, look into each other's eyes. Tired snowflakes are coming down.
Hello and welcome back. I truly believe our homes reflect the care we pour into them. It doesn't always have to be a complete makeover. Sometimes a new photo frame, a few beautiful flowers, or simply refreshing a familiar corner is enough to make the whole space feel different. One of my favorite things about homemaking is that every season and every occasion gives me a reason to refresh our home in some small way. We have planned to perform Sawan Rudrabhishek Puja tomorrow, so I thought it would be the perfect opportunity to give our home a little refresh while sharing a few new decor finds, some simple homemaking ideas, and all the little preparations that make a special day feel even more meaningful. So, in today's video, I'll be taking you along for a little home reset, sharing a few beautiful home decor pieces I have recently picked up, decorating my favorite coffee corner, and showing you all the behind the scenes preparations as we get our home ready for the upcoming festivals. One of the first things I wanted to refresh was this large vase in our entryway. I have had it for quite some time now, but I always felt it looked a little empty. The flowers I had in it before just weren't enough to complement its size. So I kept waiting until I found something that felt just right instead of buying something in a hurry. And on one of my recent visits to the range, which is a home decor shop here, I came across these beautiful artificial peonies, and the moment I saw them, I knew they would be perfect for the space. So I picked up a few stems in different shades and mixed them together to create a fuller, more natural arrangement. Once everything was arranged, I placed the vase back in the entryway, and I absolutely loved how it transformed the space. And it's these thoughtful little touches that make a home feel loved, lived in, and ready to welcome a new season or a special occasion. One thing I always do before any special day is giving the house a little reset. It isn't about making everything look perfect, it's simply about creating a space that feels clean, calm, and welcoming. They don't make haste 'cause they know what's coming. So I started with our living area, slowly working my hands through each corner. From the TV unit to the cabinets and the little surfaces in between, everything just needed a quick wipe down. And when it comes to store-bought cleaning sprays, the Sif Intense Clean All-in-One Spray is definitely one of my favorites. It leaves behind such a fresh, clean fragrance that instantly makes the whole room feel beautifully refreshed. Since tomorrow's puja will be taking place in this room, I wanted to give it a little extra attention. Nothing too overwhelming, just refreshing the spaces we use every day so they feel ready for the occasion. One thing I absolutely love about these lightweight rugs is how practical they are. They can simply go straight into the washing machine, and during the summer months they dry so quickly outdoors, making them incredibly easy to keep clean and maintain. While I was busy refreshing a few corners of my house, my husband helped by cleaning the main entrance, the front door, and the lampshades. Together, we slowly worked our way through the room, and with the bigger jobs done, I let the robot vacuum take over the floors, sweeping and mopping while we moved on to the next task. Then tomorrow morning, once everything is in place, we will simply give the Mandir area one final quick mop before the puja begins. With most of the house refreshed, it was finally time to bring out all the puja essentials from the storage. Since these are things we only use on special festivals, I like to keep them neatly packed away throughout the year. I took out the extra asans, the wooden chowkis, all the puja and havan samagri, along with the stainless steel utensils that I keep separately and use only for puja purpose. I have grown up seeing multiple pujas being performed in our home every now and then, and that is a part I miss being abroad. So, whenever we are celebrating any festival or a special puja, it gives me a chance to organize everything with intention and live those special moments. And this occasion was particularly meaningful for our family because this would be the very first Rudrabhishek we were performing in our own home in Ireland. And even more special as it was also the first Havan we would be conducting since moving into this house. Somehow, over the years, the opportunity just never came, so being able to finally perform it in our home made this celebration incredibly close to our hearts.
On the other side of the world.
And of course, no special day feels quite complete without making something sweet. It had actually been quite a while since I last made homemade gulab jamun, so I thought this was the perfect excuse to bring them back. This weren't for the puja offerings though, these were simply for us to enjoy together while getting everything ready. And if you have ever struggled with gulab jamuns cracking, breaking apart while frying, or ending up too hard, then this recipe is definitely worth trying. It's wonderfully simple, comes together with just a handful of ingredients, and has been one of my most reliable recipes over the years. The only thing you need to pay attention to is getting the proportions right. So, into a mixing bowl, I added 2 cups of milk powder, followed by half a tablespoon of baking soda and 4 tablespoons of plain flour. Give everything a gentle mix before adding 2 tablespoons of ghee. Then slowly pour in about half a cup plus 3 tablespoons of milk, mixing everything together until it just comes together as a soft dough. One important tip here is not to overwork the dough. Unlike regular flour dough, this doesn't need kneading. Simply bring everything together gently, cover it with a plate, and let it rest for about 15 to 20 minutes. That little resting time make a big difference to the final texture of the gulab jamuns. While the gulab jamun dough was resting, I thought this was the perfect time to finally unbox something I have been looking forward to for a very long time. If you have been following my videos for a while, you might remember that my old coffee machine had stopped working several months ago. Ever since then, this little coffee corner had felt a bit incomplete. I could have easily picked up another machine, but I knew I wanted to wait for something that I would genuinely love, not just for making coffee, but also as a beautiful addition to this space. And if you are someone who enjoys home decor as much as I do, you will probably understand why I have picked up this drip coffee machine from SMEG. SMEG appliances have such an iconic retro-inspired Italian design that instantly elevates any kitchen corner. Yes, they're definitely an investment, but I truly feel you are paying not just for the appliance, but also for the timeless design, the build quality, and the little details that make it such a statement piece. This particular model is perfect for anyone who enjoys filter coffee. It comes with a generous glass carafe that can brew up to 10 coffees at a time, or you can use the handy 4-cup function when you are making a smaller batch. To complete the coffee corner, I also replaced the old lamp and changed the flowers to color coordinate everything with the new coffee machine. It was an update I have been waiting for quite some time, and the SMEG drip coffee machine completely transformed this little corner into exactly how I always imagined it. With the dough nicely rested, it was time to prepare the sugar syrup because getting the consistency right is just as important as making the dough itself. If the syrup is too thin, the gulab jamuns can become soft and lose their shape, and if it is too thick, they won't absorb the sweetness properly. So for the syrup, I used just over 2 cups of fine sugar since the sugar we get here has much finer crystals. If you're using regular granulated sugars, 2 cups will be perfect. Then I added 2 cups of water, a few green cardamom pods, and a few strands of saffron for a lovely aroma and flavor. I also like to add about a tablespoon of ghee to the syrup. It's completely optional, but I find it adds a beautiful richness, and as the gulab jamuns soak, they absorb all those wonderful flavors. Once everything comes together to a gentle boil, simply let it simmer for a few minutes.
'Cause I'm not there beside you, keeping you.
Now that everything was in place, the coffee station was almost ready. It was time for the best part, brewing our very first pot of coffee. I simply filled up the water tank, added my favorite ground coffee to the reusable filter, and within a few minutes, the whole kitchen was filled with the most comforting aroma. One thing I also love is that apart from coffee, you can even use it to brew loose leaf teas or herbal infusions, making it useful for much more than just your morning cup of coffee.
Without me, I bet that you can get any sleep in that bed, lying awake.
While the coffee was brewing away, I transferred the coffee into this ceramic storage jar to keep it fresh while also making the coffee corner look a little more cohesive. Then I poured the vanilla syrup into one of these glass dispenser bottles which I had used as oil jars before and finished it off with a simple label.
I did a lot of bad things, and never did I give in.
It's such a tiny detail, but decanting everyday items into matching jars instantly makes a space feel more organized and put together. Plus, when everything has its own place, making that afternoon cup of coffee somehow feels more enjoyable. If you're enjoying the video so far, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It will mean a lot. By now the dough has resetted beautifully and you can already see the difference in the texture. It became smoother and much easier to work with. Before shaping the gulab jamun, I lightly greased my palms with a little ghee. Then while rolling each one, I gently applied a little pressure to make the surface as smooth as possible. This step is really important because if there are any cracks or uneven spots, the gulab jamuns can split open while frying or cook unevenly. Taking an extra minute here makes all the difference in the final result. And for the sugar syrup, I finished it off by adding a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice. This doesn't make the syrup taste lemony at all. It simply helps prevent the sugar from crystallizing, keeping the syrup smooth and allowing the gulab jamuns to soak beautifully. For frying, I have chosen a slightly smaller saucepan rather than a wide pan. The reason is quite simple. I want all the gulab jamuns to stay completely submerged in the oil while frying so they cook evenly on all sides. Another important tip is to keep the flame on low to medium throughout the frying process. If the oil is too hot, they will brown quickly on the outside while remaining uncooked in the center. So be patient and let them slowly develop that beautiful golden color. Once they reach the shade you like, transfer them straight into the warm sugar syrup. Then all that's left is to let them soak for at least 3 to 4 hours so the syrup reaches right to the center. The end result is incredibly soft, juicy gulab jamuns that is so much lighter and fresher than the packed Haldiram ones.
You're all I miss. Maybe it took just one kiss.
Since it was such a beautiful warm summer day, I decided to turn the freshly brewed coffee into a refreshing vanilla iced coffee instead. All I did was fill a glass with plenty of ice, pour in the freshly brewed coffee, add a little vanilla syrup, and top it up with some cold froth milk. It couldn't have been simpler, yet it tasted like something straight out of a cafe. It was the perfect little break to unwind, relax for a while, and sit down together to make our final shopping list before heading out. With our coffees in hand, we sat down together and made one final shopping list. We still had a few things to pick up from the Indian grocery store and our regular supermarket before tomorrow's preparations could begin. I always find that taking 10 minutes to plan everything beforehand makes shopping so much quicker and helps avoid those last minute trips when you are already busy with the puja preparation.
She said she
'Cause I
has.
just can't let go. And there's no one to blame. It's just the way.
With our list ready, we headed out to pick up that last few essentials. A quick stop at the Asian grocery store, followed by our regular supermarket for fresh flowers, fruits, milk, and few final bits. Somehow, these little shopping trips before a celebration always makes the occasion feel even more real. The next morning began a little earlier than usual because the very first thing on our list was giving the mandir a thorough clean. We carefully removed everything before wiping each surface down. Over time, the soot from the incense cone and camphor has settled on the shelves and backdrop, so we gave it a nice proper clean using warm soapy water and a soft sponge. I then brought down a few decorations from the attic and added artificial marigold garlands around the mandir and our main entrance. It was such a simple addition, but it instantly filled the house with that warm, festive feeling, the kind of atmosphere that reminds me so much of celebrations back home. Before setting everything up, I gave all the puja utensils a good wash, especially the copper and the brass pieces. And it's always so satisfying seeing them regain their shine, which instantly makes everything look festive ready. With everything cleaned, all that was left was arranging the fruits, flowers, and other offerings to the thalis. Once the preparations were complete, it was time to begin cooking the bhog. We decided to keep the menu simple with aloo puri, chole, kheer, and fresh raita. Alongside that, I also prepared puve, which is what it's called in my in law's home. It's very similar to malpua, but made with whole wheat flour, and it's something that's prepared on almost every auspicious occasion in the family. I also made black urad dal varas, another traditional offering that is always a part of birthdays, pujas, and on special family celebrations. By the afternoon, the house was finally ready. The food had been prepared, and all that was left was for us to get ready. One of my favorite things about festival is finally getting an excuse to wear a sari. It's something I don't get to do very often, so every occasion feels that little bit more special. I chose this beautiful cotton silk sari from Kolkata. Since it was such a warm summer day, I wanted something lightweight, breathable, and comfortable enough to wear throughout the afternoon. It was so easy to drape and carry, and I absolutely loved how elegant yet effortless it felt. Just before the puja began, I stepped into the garden to pick a few fresh flowers for the Aarti Thali. Somehow, being able to include flowers grown in our own garden made everything feel even more personal. As the mantras filled the house and the Havan began, there was such a beautiful sense of peace that settled over the entire home. Moments like these remind me that a home isn't made special by how beautiful it is decorated, but by the love, traditions, and memories created within its walls. Thank you so much for spending these two special days with us. I hope this vlog gave you a little homemaking inspiration and perhaps encouraged you to slow down and enjoy the beauty of preparing your home for life's meaningful moments. If you enjoyed watching the video, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Happy homemaking.